Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the PAC Chat. I'm Felicia Malelli, Board Chair for New Jersey Public Health Innovation PAC. And today I'm joined with Rula and Lori, our board members, and Lori is our board treasurer. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Well, today we have a very special guest with us, Melinda Ciattarelli. Jack Ciattarelli's wife will be joining us very shortly. I just wanted to take a moment and introduce to any of our new viewers a little bit about the PAC. The PAC was formed by 7 board members who are all very passionate and committed, deeply committed to protecting and strengthening health freedom in New Jersey. And we formed specifically to get a seat at the political table. Well, we're here in the home stretch, just about approaching election for 2021, and I can confidently say we now have that seat at this political table here in New Jersey. We've recently launched today our voter's guide. So if you haven't seen that yet, please go to www.njphac.org/VG for voter's guide to see our list of endorsed and recommended candidates and incumbents for the state of New Jersey's elections this coming Tuesday and currently. As you may or may not be aware, voting is open in select polling locations in each county. And at the bottom of the screen right now, you could see a ticker that will show you that link. You simply go to nj.gov, or you could even Google Early Voting New Jersey, and it will be the first link to pop up for you. So please, I encourage you to get out to vote now. This is a pivotal year for health freedom, and we need your vote. We need you to be vocal. Talk to your friends, talk to your families, community members, babysitters, sports coaches, you name it, and remind them to do the same. That list that I provided for you, the voting guide, that's based on a set of standards that we have at NJPHIPAC. We created at this endorsement process with integrity to be able to give to you a source of who to vote for on election day, knowing that these candidates are aligned with our mission. So please use this as a reference when prior to voting. Now, without further ado, I am going to welcome Melinda Ciattarelli. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on today. It's great to see all of you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Rula.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm the last few days before the election. So, people have been voting, but it's the last few days before life changes.
Yeah. And we're very optimistic that it will change for you.
So
and us.
We are too. Everybody I meet outside along, people don't recognize me. They know Jack. I mean, we can't go anywhere without people recognizing Jack. But, just talking to total strangers, I was on a hayride a couple weeks ago with some good friends. And the woman next to me said, it started to rain. And she said, this is why I can't trust anybody. I don't trust weathermen. And I said, who else don't you trust? And she says, politicians. I said, oh, so, had that opportunity to have the talk with her about, you have to vote for Jack.
and you can trust him. That's my husband.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So we're really excited to have you on tonight to be able to give our community a look into you and your life and see you up close and personal and realize that, humanize you. So, thank you for giving us this time.
Thank you for inviting me. And I look forward to coming on after the elections too.
Yay, as our first lady.
Exactly.
To help you out any way I can too.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, Jack and I have been married for 27 years. We have 4 kids, grown kids. Our daughter just moved back from Baltimore. She is now working with Jack's campaign. We have a 24-year-old son who is enlisted in the Army. He is a first lieutenant in logistics and unfortunately may be deployed this fall. Then we have our middle son. I have 3 boys and 1 girl. The middle son is a diesel mechanic and went to a trade school. So he's licensed. And then our youngest son is a junior in college, was a collegiate athlete, swimmer, and he's retired from swimming as of this year. He goes to Montclair. So then we have Jordy, the favorite.
The campaign mascot.
Yes, definitely. So I have to tell you something too. Last night I was driving home from school and there was a guy on the side of the road and he had a Jack sign. And so I pulled over and I said, "How do you know Jack?" So we went into the conversation about how he has been following Jack for months and months and months. And I said, "Oh, well, he's my husband." And he says, "No, you're Melinda?" So he knew, enough about the family. And then I said, "Yeah." And he said, so we were talking for a few minutes and then I said, I have to go home and take care of the dog. And he said, "Oh, you mean Jordy?" And I thought, oh my God, is he a stalker or what? Really stalking our family? But it turned out that he was at the headquarters for the Diane Allen debate. So he was there that day and helped out with everything and took the dog out for a walk. So small world. But
Wow.
yeah.
It's so funny.
We've been seeing Jordy make some stops on the campaign. He's made some appearances on social media and Facebook, Instagram. So we've seen him around. He's adorable.
Thank you. He's a good boy. He's the best thing that happened to us. So
oh, that's amazing.
I have to say, it's been amazing to see people that aren't even involved in politics before to be like Jack, Jack, Jack. So, even in my own neighborhood, there's people that have never had a political sign on their lawn. They have a Jack sign now. And
really,
it's amazing, the energy that's coming with this. I think this year really put a lot of things into perspective for people and made them realize that this is an important race and the future of New Jersey really is depending on your family right now.
I agree.
So,
If this can't happen, then it will never happen because I don't think anybody can or will work as hard as Jack is working to make these changes and to get everybody on the ticket elected. So it's not just for him, it's for the whole party, up and down the state. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's not only the times we're in. He is working. We see him. He's like a ping pong all over the state, and he is getting to the level of the people. And really, I think I've seen a difference in him, even just realizing what he needs to do and what he's going to represent for these people of New Jersey. So it's
very true.
It's been nice.
And with that, Felicia, I think that's a nice segue into our first question. You mentioned how Jack has been everywhere. He has been among the people of New Jersey for quite some time now. And it's impressive. I mean, there's a source of energy in Jack that I would never be able to keep up with personally, but it's inspiring to watch and it's invigorating. Like Lori said, I think that's why so many people have a fondness of Jack and want to support him because they see the energy he's putting in to the campaign. And we are so hopeful and we know he would put the same energy into being governor. So how has it been alongside him in this campaign, married to Jack? How has that been?
Well, I have to say it's been a whirlwind, and just realizing that this is the final week before the elections. It seems like it flew by, but it also seems like it's dragged because yes, I do miss my husband's dinner with my husband. I do miss going on vacations. I do miss having a normal life, but I see how passionate he is and how much he wants the changes to be made in this state. So it's been exciting. It really has. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. And do I know where we'll go from here? No, because, you know, somebody said to me this morning when we went voting, we went to vote. She said, you have to let him run for president. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Let's get through this first.
Right. Right.
But, you know, I believe in him, not because he's my husband. Well, I believe in him because of that, but I also believe in him because he's a 2-time business owner. And I do think that the state needs to be run like a business. And there's nobody more capable than Jack.
Like a business, and somebody that understands New Jersey, that is from New Jersey, and connected to it.
Right.
So if Jack were to win, and he will, it is our highest hopes that he does, what would you tackle as First Lady first? What would be the first line of order for you?
Well, okay, so what's near and dear to my heart is bullying. I think we've all experienced in some shape or form. You know, it's in our businesses, it's in the schools, it's on the buses, it's in sports. Unfortunately, I think social media has brought out the worst of it because people can hide behind the screen and say and do whatever they want. I think when I really did decide that this would be something that I would speak about was after the debate with Hirsch Singh and Jack, and I was ambushed, and it was a form of bullying by an individual who was desperate, and it was a form of bullying in a way that family should not be brought into these things.
Right.
It shows all of their insecurity on that part of the you know, when you're running for something and you have to go to desperate measures.
Sure.
So I do think bullying has gotten so much worse over the last 2 years since the pandemic.
Right. Well, you know, that's excellent. As mothers, all of us on this call right now are mothers. This is something that is, like you said, touches each one of us. And we hope that in the future we can support you and rally behind any efforts that you may put forth into this. And so can you explain why this topic is near and dear to your heart? Give a little color, shed a little light on that?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we see it all too often.
Right.
One of my kids was in 3rd grade and was bullied by his teacher.
Right.
You know, it's
So sad.
It is sad.
Right.
And it should not be tolerated. And if we treat people with respect and dignity, not one person is better than another. So
Right.
I don't care who you are. You can't look down on people. You need to treat people with respect and treat them the way you want to be treated. And that's what I really do. I enforced it with our kids because I didn't want them to be the bully.
Right.
Any more than I wanted them to be bullied. So I think that would be probably why I would choose that as one topic.
Well, it's an incredible topic to lead with. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I think one of my fellow board members are up next.
Okay, I just had some questions for you too.
Okay.
What are Jack's best traits? I've never, what would you say are Jack's best traits?
Best traits for him or for me? I would say he's definitely a trendsetter. When he sets his mind to something, he is not going to give it 100%. He doesn't do anything in slow motion. He doesn't sleep very often. And but one of his best traits probably for him is that he knows so much about everything that I've never won an argument. So you know, he can come back with any topic and win a debate, an argument, a discussion. He can persuade you that it's raining flowers outside. I don't know, something stupid like that.
Not only is he a CPA, but he's a lawyer too.
He's not a lawyer. He's an accountant.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I think that's one of the best things about him running for governor, because we have had lawyers in the past, and I think we need somebody to run it like a business again. So, but that would be probably what I would say. He's passionate. When he's passionate about something, he gives it his all.
Has he always been this passionate and motivated?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's always been involved in politics, but it was more, it was not, he did not do it as a career. It was not, he owned 2 businesses. He, when he was in politics, he was an assemblyman. He was a freeholder. He set his own term limits, because if he felt like, like he gave somebody else an opportunity. And also, if you're stagnant, try to do more or go on to the next step. So he always set his own term limits, and which is why we're here now.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So what is your favorite restaurant that you guys frequent together?
So we used to go to DeLucci's Pizza in Raritan every Friday night, but when the pandemic hit, we would just order and bring it home. So that's one of our favorites. One of Uncle Vinny's Clam Bar in Raritan. And my brother-in-law just opened a restaurant in Raritan called Michael's, but I haven't yet been able to get in there. I know Jack was in there earlier last month, but no, I would say those 2 are those 3 would be our top. So, but we haven't been able, unfortunately, so many of the restaurants went out of business. I know one of my favorites in near Princeton was closed during the pandemic, and they did reopen, but a lot of them have not been able to reopen. They couldn't make it through that time.
We need Jack. I mean, the restaurant I went to the other day had a Main Street for Jack sign in the window, and I was like, I'm in the right place. I'll eat here every day till he wins, and even after that.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
The people that are supporters.
So maybe we'll have your celebration meal at his brother's restaurant.
Yes, that would be nice, because my one son is turning 21 in 2 weeks, so maybe we'll go there for his birthday dinner.
Yay!
Yeah,
That's exciting.
yeah.
So what's the one thing in your life that you're so happy you did?
This sounds so cliche, but marrying Jack. I wouldn't have been provided the opportunities in life. I mean, I never thought in my wildest dreams. My grandmother used to always say that he was going to be governor one day. And unfortunately, she died 4 years ago. So she didn't get to see this. But I think that, I was fortunate enough to stay home with my kids when they were young. And I went to school. So at the same time, but with his schedule, it allowed us both to be home with them more often than not. And once they were old enough to go to school, I started working for Jack, which gave me a lot of experience in writing. Met a lot of people because he worked with Johns Hopkins. We've been fortunate enough to be able to travel when we wanted to, and I just think that our whole lifestyle is. I'm very fortunate to have it, and I don't take it for granted.
That's awesome. So you had told me before you actually graduated when your son was 1. How when your youngest was 1? I
Yeah.
feel like I can't get to like random tasks and I only have 2. Like that's amazing.
It's but if you have the support of your spouse Your kids are rooting for you to do it. You know, my daughter came to the graduation. It's you can do it, and I just feel like we should always be trying to better ourselves. So, which is why I'm going to school now, which is a great distraction for me. And I didn't tell you this, but when I started school, I said I'm either getting a dog or I'm going back to school for interior design for my certification. And I was finishing up the first year there and at Raritan Valley, and I fell, literally fell. So traumatic that I could not go back. I went back during COVID because it was all virtual. And now I'm taking my last 2 classes with my original instructor, who I love. She's going to help me decorate Drum Thwacket.
Yay!
So yeah, it's been, the timing has been, people would say it's not been great, but it has been a huge distraction, because otherwise I would be on Facebook responding to people, you know, arguing with people about my position on things, you know, that, or when they tend to start bullying, you know, behind the screen. So this is better for me to just stay put and work on what I have to do.
What led you to interior design?
I actually started it many years ago, and the classes were dropped from that community college. So I've always enjoyed it. You know, my sister would ask me to help her decorate her houses, the one she's moved from one to the other. My mom always said, you know, you should do something with this. My grandma was passionate about design and furnishings, and I think it just, I don't know, maybe I took it for granted because it came naturally, but I've learned more that I thought I knew, but through the instructions at Raritan Valley, those instructors are amazing. So
Nice. Well, we look forward to what you're going to do to Drum Thwacket. I can't wait to see pictures. Maybe you'll have us over for dinner.
yes, absolutely. Yes. We'll have Jack.
It needs an update. It definitely needs your touch. That's for sure.
And we'll have Jack do the cooking because he's the best cook. So
Yeah, I can't wait for that too.
yeah,
Hopefully he's really busy helping us, helping the people of New Jersey.
That's right.
And making meatballs on the side.
That's right.
What gives you hope?
I do have hope for the future of New Jersey. I want my kids to be able to live here in the same lifestyle or similar lifestyle that we've had. But unfortunately, with New Jersey being first in out-migration, and the majority of those people are retirees or college students, and they're not coming back. So I do have hope for the future. I do think that people will be able to live here and live here comfortably and not be taxed to death. And I have hope.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, just today I was talking to people who were saying, we hope Jack wins or else we're going to move. And this was someone random I met at the park.
I know. Yeah.
It's an interesting time to be in New Jersey.
Yes, it is. And it's, you know, I have one person who says, you know, people are moving to the states that are more like them. He's my personal trainer. And he says, and I said, why would people do that? And he says, well, you know, like people move to Texas because it's Republican state. And I said, but it can't always stay the same. And I don't know. I would never think of moving away because you didn't agree with the way it was run. But then you have to look at it from the other aspect and say, you know what, if I'm not happy here, why not go where I'm more like-minded? So
New Jersey's always kind of been in the middle, I feel, and now it's getting pulled much further than we've ever been by somebody that isn't from here, frankly. So, you know, it does seem to be, we've never had these issues. It's always been kind of middle of the road, blue-ish, red, you know, but either way, we've never had the issues we're having right now. And I mean, I think a lot of us wouldn't have been involved in politics as much as we have been in the past 2 years if it wasn't for these really crazy changes that are happening that are affecting our lives and our children's lives.
I agree.
And here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. And I
Ruba.
feel sorry for people raising kids this day and age. It's one of the worst times ever. But it's between the pandemic and the schools and everything else that's going on in the world right now. It's hard. It's got to be. I feel for all of you who have young children.
I have 4 words for you. Jack can fix it.
I have some for you. Jack better fix it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yes.
love that.
Love.
Or how about Jack will?
Yeah.
Jack will.
Jack will
Love
fix
that.
it. Yes.
Yes.
So
So we're going. You mentioned, Melinda, that you are in school for interior design. Obviously, that's one of your hobbies. Is there anything else that you partake in? Any other hobbies?
I mean, it does take up most of my time
does.
between that and going with Jack. So when I do have a free minute now, I go with Jack. But we did used to go skiing quite a bit. We would go to Vermont every year. And one year after Christmas, we took the kids to Sundance. So it was, we all love to ski. As I get older, I don't like the cold. But we manage.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
So one of the things you told us in our prior discussions is that Jack was the one who really introduced you to the world of cooking. So now here you are. What is the favorite meal that you prepare for Jack? What is your favorite meal that you prepare for him, or his favorite meal that you prepare for him, I should say?
So being Spanish, I always cook I will do like the Spanish meals because he's never been exposed to them, like paella. He had never had a taco. My oldest son still, like when they talk about what we would eat for Christmas Eve dinner, my grandmother would make enchiladas. And my oldest son thinks that is the most ridiculous thing in the world because, the Italians have the 7 fishes, but I've turned him around and I do think we had paella last year for Christmas Eve because it did cover, the 7 fishes and it covered my family's side of the
Yeah.
Tacos.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You got the best of both worlds because that sounds incredible. Mix it up a little bit.
Right. I promised to make paella for the campaign team when this is all over, before we move on to the next phase.
Right.
The campaign team in your favorite pack, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Us too.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So that's what you make for him. What does he make for you?
So I have never, ever made a meatball. Not once. Because I can't compete with his meatballs. He calls it gravy, but we all know it's really sauce.
Right.
You're in trouble now.
Jack, when we did an interview with Jack, we asked him that question on the.
Did you?
Yes, we did. We said our viewers want to know: is it sauce or is it gravy? And he said gravy. And I said, I don't know, Jack. This might be the question that does you in. I mean, people care about taxes. They care about all these issues. But the sauce and gravy thing in New Jersey, that is that might tear away some of your support there.
At least we didn't touch the pork roll Taylor ham, or else we would have really got him in trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was pork roll instead of Taylor ham. So I said, you got 2 strikes. It's a pork roll and gravy from some North Jersey girls who, they can't. We don't understand that concept. So, but I think a lot of people are going to be willing to look past that on election day.
They'll vote for me.
Yeah. Right. Half the
Right.
crew calls it sauce. So
yes,
I think that's okay.
I do think that, like gravy goes on turkey. So then what do you call gravy on turkey? It's,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll put his red sauce on his turkey and I'll say, well, you call it gravy.
Right.
The The red sauce has, I mean, the gravy has the meat, and the sauce is without the meat. That's the way we.
Yeah, that's some people interpretation of it. I still don't buy it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know how to cook, so I recuse myself. Whatever the person that cooks it wants to call it, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
You have no bias, Lori.
Yeah, no.
No.
that's great.
Just save my kids, okay?
Does he have any other special interests that would surprise us?
I mean, he likes skiing. He likes vacationing. He just loves to. We used to go to Bermuda every June for like a week, not with the kids though. So yeah,
Important. Right?
yeah, and he loves to just to get away. But when he does get away, he wants to relax and re-energize himself. So.
Well, it's working. That man has more energy than anyone I've ever seen.
You and me both. I can't keep up.
When I watch him, I look in close. I'm like, is he eating? Is he taking care of himself? I swear I do it because I know. I remember we've been busy. I haven't seen him in a while, but we were seeing him a bunch earlier on in June and then over the summer a bit. So now I'm looking. I'm like, he's on the go so much. They must plan in eating time and sleeping time and all of that.
I think a lot of nights they stop at a diner on the way home. You know, it's because he never eats at the events because he's going from one to another. So I shouldn't say never, but the majority of the time, I don't think he does. They stop on the way home, which.
Well, thank goodness for New Jersey diners that are open. I know. Because you don't see that in other states. In Connecticut, they're closed. They close their doors at 9 p.m. I work in Connecticut too as well. And I remember finishing work late. I'm like, okay, let's just go to a diner. And they're like, what? What do you mean go to a diner? The idea of these 24 hours or diners that are open till midnight is a very Jersey thing. So
yes.
Fortunately for Jack, we have that here.
Right. Yep.
I've seen 3 diners with Jack signs in front of them, actually. Just the other day I was on 46. They had one right on 46. Okay. I shouldn't say which diner. One in Paramus has one, and then one more on another place in Bergen County. But I remember we were driving on a road and I was like, oh my God, they have a Jack sign out.
Oh, that's funny.
My kids actually pointed out. One of the first words my son learned how to spell was Jack.
Aww.
It's on our lawn, so I guess that's how I learned.
That's a game that we play in the car as we're driving around. My kids they sit in the back and they see who could see a Jack sign first. And when they see one, they yell Jack sign, and the other one will get mad that the other one saw it first, right? Because it's a competition who could see it first, right? So on our way to school in the morning, they have them memorized, right? So I could see them; they're getting ready to yell Jack sign. And then my son, who's 6 years old, he goes, I don't even know what the other signs say, Mom. I don't know what the other one said, but I know Jack. I know when I could read a Jack sign. I said, good job. So
tell him, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
Our viewers, I'm sorry to interrupt. Some of our viewers are agreeing. They do the same thing too.
They play the Jack game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. I love it.
She said we chant, Megan, Ellen, Eileen said, we chant, we back Jack in our car.
Oh, so my son is one of the lieutenants in the Army with him. He has a little boy. His name is Decker. He's 2, and he says Jack, which is so cute. I mean, they're not even in New Jersey, but he's Jack.
That's probably like all he can say at that age. He
right.
Can't say too much, and that's what he says.
It has to be. I bet you it is somebody's baby's first word. I think they skipped over mom and dada. One of these pandemic babies, right? I guarantee we have a Jack baby out there.
Wonder how many people will name their babies Jack. After.
Well, it's already it's gained popularity, that name now.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it's
all over the state. So, and it'll be more over the state. So
I love that. I love that video with the butchering of the last name.
Oh, I know, isn't that great? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just Jack.
That
You
was
know?
very clever.
It
Yeah.
That
was.
was very
Oh
clever.
yeah, and what was that from? What show was that?
A sitcom or
Oh,
something?
was it what?
Was it like a sitcom or something?
It was.
Yeah.
And he goes, just Jack. You have
Oh.
to look at oh, it was right on the tip of my tongue. The woman with the red hair.
Will and Grace?
Yes, yes. And she says,
Okay.
and he goes, no, it's just Jack.
Well, it's very smart that the first name, there's a lot of name recognition with Jack as Jack, but I'm first generation and I have parents who English is their second language. So it's been fun listening to their version of Jack's last name. I'm like, just stop.
Just Jack.
Yeah,
Lila's got to make her own video.
yeah, I was gonna do that version of the immigrant version of their attempts at saying Ciattarelli because it's very funny. So I don't know who is next on their questions, or have we wrapped them all up?
We have not. I think Lori.
So we talked about your campaign dog, who's made his way around our state too. Who got to name Jordy?
Well, so I did run this by the kids and everybody. I said, well, it was a group effort, but I'm the one that came up with it because we were in Sundance and I heard somebody yell after their child when we were on the ski lift and they said, Jordy. So, and one of the funny things is that one of Jack's people that's working with him on the campaign, he's in charge of not fundraising. I don't know, but his name is Jordan. So when we get mad at Jordy, we say Jordan. And so that everybody thinks, oh, Jordan, which Jordan are we talking about? So, but no, he is the greatest. And Jack was outnumbered on that one. He didn't even know he was coming home, that Jordy was coming home, and he didn't acknowledge him for a couple weeks, but now he does absolutely love him. So he does.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah. But somebody sent me a picture today.
Did he grow up with dogs?
Jack did.
Oh,
and
okay.
I had a dog, but I never was interested in getting another one. And I was allergic to cats. And I used that to not get another one. But yeah, somebody sent me a picture today and he was with Alexa and he says, oh, Alexa needs this dog. I said, nope, just like Jack, we are one and done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I shouldn't say just like Jack, just like Phil Murphy.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like Jack would say.
Yeah.
That's Jack's favorite saying.
Yes.
So which one? Oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
So we know you have 4 kids. Which one of you would have been the one to go for the 5th child?
It's funny because at first I said I would, but I thought I would. But when we were engaged, Jack wanted 6 and I only wanted 2.
So you guys really did compromise. That's so nice.
Yeah. I guess Jack could say he won that one too. So.
Usually there's always one that's like, are you sure we're done? Like,
I know.
How about that one more?
Yeah. So my youngest son, he was 3 weeks early. He was supposed to be born in December and I had him right before Thanksgiving. And I really, really, really wanted a girl and I wanted her named Noelle.
Aww.
So, but I'm not trying for that. We'll just get, I'll wait for the grandchild to be named Noelle.
Yay. We're excited for you.
Yeah, we're actually in line. I have 3 boys and a girl too. Who's the oldest?
My daughter.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. They become little mother hens, but
exactly. She's so helpful.
She is. My daughter's very helpful. She's very good. I had it easy with her, or we did. Never ever gave us an ounce of trouble.
That's awesome. I actually met her on the campaign trail and loved her, obviously, but
Yeah.
You know, you guys are a great family, and we're happy and honored and can't wait for you to be our first family.
Thank you. Thank you. We are very excited to be given the opportunity to do this. So we are looking forward to this, to
And
representing this state.
and now for our $1 million question that we ask all our guests. What does health freedom mean to you?
So I do think it's about making the right choices, health choices for our family, for us and our families. And, you know, we've always put our kids first, but if it's not a good decision, then we should be able to make the right decision for them or to protect them. So, and not be bullied into doing something else. So there's how I tie my first question.
There you go. You
to
tied
my
it
last
nicely
one.
up with a bow. I love that. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that it's important for people to advocate for themselves and their families.
And I'm just so proud of our state and all the parents that have risen up and even people and said, you know, we want to fight for our choice, our right to decide what's right for us.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure it's comforting for our community to hear you say that and to know that this is a household stance, you know, being that Jack has outwardly supported our, health freedom with his words, his messaging online. We've heard it many times in many different platforms and ways. And so to hear you say it too, it's reassuring that collectively you're supportive of parental rights and choice with bodily autonomy.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Is there, Rilla, do you have any?
No, I am good. I've asked all my questions. It's been wonderful getting to know you, Melinda, and giving our viewers a chance to get to know you a bit more. It's so interesting. Good luck with interior design. When you finish,
Thank
I have
you.
a spare room that I have no idea what to do with. So, if you could guide me in any way. And as a family, you guys are close to the finish line. We are rooting for you, supporting for you, and hopefully we all get to celebrate November 2nd.
Oh, I look forward to that. So
yes.
I do have a question for you. Have you voted?
We voted this morning.
Oh,
we went. Yeah, the only one that wasn't able to go vote with us was my oldest son, but he did his vote by mail because he's not.
When is the family?
We did.
Yeah.
My dog. So some of the family members didn't know that they would be home for voting, so they just did it vote by mail. But we all went. Everybody who was home. So
that must have been surreal, seeing your name in that on that ballot, inside that ballot. I mean that poll.
Yes, it was great. I was a little I was nervous at first, but the system for early voting was so easy, so great. I believe in the system. So, a lot of people have said, that it's not that there's fraud, but we have good people working the polls. We have to have trust in the system.
Well, if it's good enough for Jack, it's good enough for us.
Good answer, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's
So, yes, I was very happy to get that behind me. So I
We're
couldn't hold it
excited.
against him any longer. If you don't do this, I'm not going to vote for you.
You got a few more days of that. You have no, you did it. That's it. It's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to take our sign off our lawn if you don't stop.
Well, that's a good one, Lori.
Well, I'm sure the next couple of days will add a little stress, but at the same time, he's done amazing, and I'm sure you've been supportive and collectively. We've all done what we can. Now it's just getting out, reminding people to get out to vote, and talking to your friends, your neighbors, community members, family, and reminding them that this is a very pivotal year. I'm sure you agree with that.
I do agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very important.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the last word to tell our community. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I just want to thank everybody for their passion, their perseverance, their dedication to you and to to Jack. So thank you for everything that you're doing.
You're welcome. Thank you for being with us. Just to remind everybody, our voter guide is up. That is where you will find the PAC's endorsements. We've been working since our launch to create relationships with legislators, to be that bridge for you, our community, to feel confident in voting for these select legislators and knowing that they will be our voice in Trenton. So please, I really encourage you to look at that list. You can go to www.njphipac.org/VG for Voters Guide, and use that as a resource and pass that along to family and friends. You know, we are really confident in this election because we have seen a grassroots movement like, I think not in my experience that I've ever seen anything like this. So many people activated and passionate about helping Jack get elected. So with your help too, because it's not just about voting. Voting's not enough. You have to spread this message. You need to talk to your family and friends and just give them a gentle nudge and remind them that often people will go, it's more common for people to go vote for a presidential election. But we have seen, I can't remember the numbers specifically, but I think that the last governor's election, only a third of the state came out to vote, and that's just not enough. We need people at the polls from now until November 2nd. And if you're not familiar with the voting, early voting, it's very simple. There's a select number of polling centers in the county that you could go to, and you can find those easily by just Googling New Jersey early voting site, and it'll be the first link that pops up. There's also that information below on our ticker that will tell you exactly where you need to go at nj.gov, early voting, to get those locations. And you go, you vote, and then you're done, and your vote is in. If you can't make it this weekend, I definitely encourage you to go on Tuesday. The polls will be closed on Monday. So again, please get out to vote. Thank you for joining us. We at the PAC Chat rely on your contributions in order to be successful in supporting the candidates that align with our mission and working to protect the Senate and the Assembly and Jack Ciattarelli to make sure that we have that voice in Trenton. So please stay connected to us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and you name it. I'm going to leave off with a video that we created to help support as a PAC, to help support the campaign and allowing people to see some of the issues around Governor Murphy. Thank you guys.
Melinda.
Thank you
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, definitely. We'll talk within the next week. So,
Yes.
Great.
Definitely.
Looking forward to it.
So yes, I'll come back anytime for you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda.
Thank
All
you.
right, everyone,
Bye-bye.
let's take a look at this.
I always thought I would vote for Phil Murphy. I believed that my family would be kept safe. I trusted that he would honor my choice when it comes to my body. I trusted that the small business my immigrant parents opened 40 years ago would be protected and thrive under his leadership. I believed his public health policies would be educational and progressive. I never thought that as a nurse I would be forced to do something against my beliefs or face termination. I trusted that he would be transparent and forthcoming with the data that drives his policies.
I want to see his science and data. We've been asking for that since last March. There is none.
I never imagined that he would be so dismissive of my concerns and those of my neighbors. I believed he would lead this state with consideration for all people and do so with kindness and respect.
Those folks back there have lost their mind. You've lost your minds.
When I voted for Phil Murphy 4 years ago, I had no idea that this is what I would be getting, and I refused to waste my vote on 4 more years of his failed promises.